They control the money, the media, and the minds of the masses.
Dad, you thought I forgot? Happy Father's Day.
What? Oh my, BB, my favorite child. You shouldn't have. A card. And what is that?
This right here is your real gift, Dad. A list of names. The names of all the children we've erased this past month.
BB, you're making me cry. You always bring such joy to my cold, dead heart. I love you, son.
I love you too, Papa. None of this would be possible without your guidance.
Good job, son.
Thanks, Dad. Catch me if you can.
Oh, you little rascal! I'm coming!
Our government will not answer this question. Do babies really just die for no reason? Healthy baby one day, then the next, a tragedy. We live in a world where that's just a fact of life, right? But is it really? Aside from congenital conditions and cases of infant neglect, where throughout human history can we see evidence of this happening? What you're about to see will change your mind on this subject forever.
He started screaming 23 hours a day.
He was so dazed, he wasn't there.
They told me she had a little cold. Just a cold.
That was the last time I kissed his alive, warm cheek.
2 days before Easter, she passed away in her sleep.
It was the last time that I held him. It was the last time that I told him that I loved him.
To go lay him down, and I went to load the dishwasher, and when I went to go check on him, he was already gone.
Okay, so families experienced a horrible tragedy, but they're not the only ones. Far from it. Their stories are real, and our government and medical institutions are not listening to them. Did you know that 58% of reported SIDS cases happened within 3 days post-vaccination? And that 78.3% happened within 7 days of vaccination? Is that just inconvenient timing? Or is there something far more insidious going on here?
I guess finally, Liz, you saw also that the revelations you were talking about Zorro Ranch and like the baby farming, basically, and you saw that as the FBI was about to start their investigation, he had ordered 55 gallons of sulfuric acid, which the only reason, I don't know why else you would use sulfuric acid other than to dissolve bones and to hide any evidence. And there's people speculating about that. He may have been using that to dissolve bodies at the Zorro Ranch or on the Epstein Island. What do you think that was used for?
Of course they were killing people. Of course they were killing victims. They openly talked about it in their emails, how they were killing people and torturing people as well. So that's another component. It wasn't just raping children. They also love torturing these kids, and they get off on that. So I do believe that acid was used to get rid of the remains of a lot of their victims. What we also now know for a fact is there was an underground facility at Zorro Ranch and on the island. And when Epstein got wind that the FBI was investigating him back, I believe it was in 2019 or maybe 2018, he ordered also, in addition to the sulfuric acid, a ton of cement, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cement and a cement truck. And now we know for a fact, because the files also confirmed that there were underground tunnels at the island. So I believe that he was filling up the tunnels to cover the evidence, which probably includes the remains of some of the victims.
Here's a lady on TikTok crying because Lindsay Clancy can't hold her children's stuffed animals anymore because her husband got rid of them.
He got rid of all of their stuff.
Here's a lady on TikTok crying because Lindsay Clancy can't hold her children's stuffed animals anymore because her husband got rid of them.
He got rid of all of their stuff. She doesn't have anything. You guys, I can't. I can't.
Meanwhile, the husband can't hold his actual children anymore because Lindsay got rid of those. So, this lady's heart's certainly in the right spot. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Droves of definitely not mentally ill women are supporting Lindsay Clancy, claiming she's not guilty, even though she admitted to strangling her 3 young children to death. I don't know, maybe Maybe these angry feminists just think she did a couple of really late-term abortions, so she's a hero. I'm pretty convinced these ladies are glad the kids are dead. They're celebrating it. Anyway, full story coming up tonight. Good evening and welcome to We Lie to You News. Should a mother be able to kill her own kids if she really wants to? That's the question that Lindsay Clancy's supporters are asking. Satan's completely taken over the world. You know that, don't you? Here you can see a number of her supporters lined up outside of the courtroom. I will get to the beautiful support she's getting as though she's some kind of a hero. But first, in case you don't know, Lindsay Clancy used to be a mother until she killed all her kids.
And there you have it, folks. Like he said, Satan has completely taken over the world, and that is why everything is anti-life. You have to understand that the wicked elites, they are the orchestrators of all these kind of actions, where they're making it okay for women to kill their children, to unalive their children, because this is what they're into. So whether it's through jabs, whether it's through having islands dedicated and just torturing and murdering children, whether it's through abortions, whether it's through all kinds of unlimited ways that they do these things, right? Even poisoning the food, the air, all of this, right? They want to unalive children by any means necessary. They get off on it. And they get off on people supporting this lifestyle. There's a book called the Talmud, and in the Talmud, it describes the most horrific things you can ever do to a child. They practice this stuff. They have the Kabbalah. They practice these things, right? This is in their nature. So they don't only want to be doing it themselves, because people call them out on the bull crap, right? We call them out constantly how it is not okay to live life the way they do. Murdering children, just eating babies and drinking the blood and all these ritualistic practices. They look at it and they see the disdain we have for them, for their lifestyle. So what they're doing now is to make it mainstream, right? They're making it mainstream for people to say it's okay to kill your own children. They try to doing it to the abortion, and there's still a lot of pushback in the abortion. Because believe it or not, abortion is murder. Whether you want to accept it or not, abortion is murder. That's exactly what it is. Let alone the late-term abortion, where even after you've given birth to the baby, you can still decide to unalive it. But what you don't know is they sell the baby parts of all these aborted fetuses. They sell it, they eat it, the placenta, they consume it. It's big business. A lot of parents don't even understand that. So it goes beyond just supporting some psychotic post whatever psychosis they call it. It goes beyond just supporting. You're supporting ritualistic practices. That's exactly what you're supporting. You're supporting anti-life, anti-children. But people are brain dead in the world we live in to understand this common fact, this common agenda that's being pushed. People are just their brain has turned to mush. Call it the things we eat. Say you are what you eat, and most of the food we eat are biologically engineered. In other words, the things you consume has no business being in your body. So if you are what you eat and you're eating crap, guess what? Your mind will be crap. You think like crap. See? So the majority of the people out there, they're already brain dead. So they will go along with whatever. See? So where you see all these women supporting death. That's exactly what it is. Meanwhile, we're living in a world where life is supposed to be the thing that wins. So you can blame all the wicked elites for all of that. Before we go any further, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, Shalom, shalom, shalom. To all your brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, beginning with 144,000 down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, all of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty, to you all I say shalom, which means peace and blessings to you. And there you have it, folks. You know, what is happening with this Lindsay something case, it is all a psyop. It's a psychological operation to see how far they can go with all this madness, right? You know, they're playing the people like a piano, you know, like a banjo. They're playing the people like some kind of instrument to see how far they can get away and to see how much control they have over your minds to fall for the okie doke yet again. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
How'd that happen? Well, she got really depressed, saw a ton of specialists, had a nanny to take care of the kids, got loaded up on medications. Then she sent her husband out of the house to grab dinner so she could strangle their children in the basement.
Got loaded up on medications. Got loaded up on medications. That is a huge factor in all of this, right? Letting you know her brain, her mind is already effed up. So now, backtrack to 2020, a lot of people gave their arm and they got loaded up with medications, and the medications that they gave you, the inoculations that they gave you, is being known to cross the blood-brain barrier. In other words, it goes straight to your head. So it can totally fuck you up in the head. See what I'm saying? So a lot of things that people are doing, they may or may not be totally in control of all of that. Because you have nanoparticulates, you have foreign entities in your brain, in your friggin' mind, tweaking and doing no God knows what in your friggin' heads. You know, going back to the MK Ultra type thing, right? It used to be targeted individuals that they do that on, right? You always have these individuals come out and tell you how the CIA or the Alphabet Boys experiment on them with this MK Ultra type thing in their mind, you know, try to control their minds. And I believe in 2020 that was part of that. It was all part of what they had in the jab. Because if they're trying to get through your blood-brain barrier to go to your head, what do you think they're trying to do in your head? Except control it. See what I'm saying? So you can imagine, now she's loaded up on all kinds of psychotic meds. Because believe you me, Big Pharma, they cannot cure anything. That's why when they say they are treating you on something, the side effects of those things are terrifying, even way more terrifying than the disease is trying to cure. Why is that? Because that's the agenda. To have people constantly effed up in the head. Your mind's totally jumbled up and just lost out of your mind. See?
Justin! The husband divorced her. Apparently that was a deal breaker. And ladies, that just goes to show you, you can't trust a man to stand by your side. So anyway, she strangled to death their 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 8-month-old. Then she slit her own wrists and throat and jumped out of a window head first. Presumably it wasn't a basement window because it was high enough that she broke her neck, leaving her a paraplegic. Lindsay Clancy not only failed at being a mother, she also failed at whatever she was trying to do when she slit her wrists and broke her neck. She's a failure. And now she stands trial. Or in her case, she sits trial, charged with killing her 3 kids. Now here's the feel-good part of the story. She admitted to offing her children, yet women from around the country have stood up in admiration for Lindsay Clancy, claiming she's not guilty. And standing up for Lindsay Clancy is the first exercise these women have gotten in over 10 years.
I mean, it's trying to make light of a very serious situation, you know, it's like that. But the point being is, it is a very sad case all around, no matter how you look at it, from the husband to the wife to even to the people that are supporting this craziness, right? This is a whole experiment that's being conducted. It's a psychological operation that's being carried out. Because remember, the wicked elite, they they get a thrill of watching this kind of madness. That's why they have all the purple hair women going, co-signing abortions and things like that, right? You have the SIDS, called sudden infant death syndrome. What the hell is up with that? Sudden infant death syndrome, and it has gone incrementally worse. It has increased since 2020, right? And what happened in 2020? Well, they rolled out a biological weapon that is coursing through a lot of people right now. Even the mothers that they were pregnant at the time that they got the jabs, information came out that it directly affected their babies. And as a baby, they're already poking you with these things, right? As a baby, they poke you a lot of these jabs, numerous of these jabs inside of you. And now you wonder why there's this sudden infant death syndrome. It's all by design, folks. It is all by design. The wicked elites, the evil men and women that run the world, they get a kick out of watching children unalived, tortured, right? That's why you had the Epstein thing till today. Nobody has been arrested. So they do it in all kinds of ways, right? Through abortions, through food, through jabs, mRNA jabs, right? Through direct contact with the children, through trafficking and torturing and unaliving these children, right? Drinking their blood, all that madness. See what I'm saying? So that's not enough. They're trying to have that vibration all throughout the world where people will be co-signing the death of children now. Because that used to be a no-no. I grew up in a world where you can do anything can slide by if it's an adult, but when it comes to children, it's always a no-no, no matter the race, right? It's always a no-no. You can't do that to children. It was an understood thing, right? It was very understood that children are off limits. So now they're making it to where children are no longer off limits. And they want you to co-sign it. They want you to be behind that. But to understand, it's a psyop, a huge psyop that's being conducted. See? So straight to the scriptures now, so you can understand why this is going on. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, start from the 4th verse. It says, the sins of the Canaanites. It says, you hated the people who lived in your holy land long ago because they did horrible things. They practiced magic and conducted unholy worship. They killed children without mercy and ate the flesh and blood of human beings. You see? So this is going back in the time of the Canaanites. This is why they were driven out of the Holy Land, where the so-called Jews are in right now. They are the imposters, the true biblical Israelites. Before they got in there, the Canaanites were living there, and this is what they are doing. And the so-called Jews that are there now, this is exactly what they're doing also. And not only are they doing it there in the Holy Land, they're doing it and pushing that vibration throughout the world. Throughout the world. You see? Killing children without mercy and eating their flesh and their blood. I mean, it's all throughout the Epstein files. Not only are they all throughout the Epstein files, we're finding out that a lot of the jabs that are directed to these children are there to unalive them. So no matter how you slice it, the wicked elites, who are Edomites, as wicked as they are, as evil and vile as they are anti-life. And they're exceptionally anti-children. See? It says they were initiated into secret rituals in which parents murdered their own defenseless children. And what are you seeing with this whole case, with the Lindsay case, right? She murdered her own defenseless children. And she's not just the only individual this has happened. It's been going on for a very long time. So this type of thing that was happening back then is still happening today. Still happening today. There's always a ritualistic practice behind all this madness. Even when you look at the Hollywood, before they break out and turn into the $25 million club, they always lose a member of their family. In a lot of cases, their own children. Either to directly unalive them or use them as a ritualistic practice, or they flip their gender. It's all part of the same thing. They flip their gender, mutilate them, cut off their genitals, and turn them from boy to girl or girl to boy. You know how that goes. So it's all part of that. Because in which parents murdered their own defenseless children, it was your will for our ancestors to destroy these people. Which people? Well, the Canaanites. You see, they had to be driven out of the land of what they were doing. And it's going to happen again. That's why America, no matter how you look at it, will be totally destroyed. Because a lot of innocent blood has been shed on American soil. So same goes in the in Israel with the so-called Jews. That is the Holy Land. They have to be driven out of that land because all the madness have done on that holy land, on the soil of that land. You see? So the Heavenly Father will allow you to rack up your wickedness till enough is enough. And then here comes the judgment. And the judgment is fastly approaching, both on America and the so-called Jews and in the Holy Land. It said, so that the land which you consider to be most precious of all the lands will be a suitable home for your people. Right now, it's not a suitable home for the true biblical Israelites, right? But even in this, you showed mercy toward their enemies, since they were only human beings. You sent hornets ahead of your army to destroy enemy gradually. I mean, it's just going into it. The point being of what they were doing to children. You see? And we see that same pattern happening in our present evil, wicked world we live in. Still happening till today. This is the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 58th verse. It says, a defiant nation, let's say the 49th verse. It says, the Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle swoops down to attack. There's a reason why America uses the eagle. You know, even Rome used the eagle, because they saw the same wicked nations. You see? A nation whose language you will not understand. A defiant nation who will have no respect for the old, nor show favor to the young. See? Nor show favor to the young. They don't care. They have no regard for human life. Like it says here, and shall not regard a person of the old, nor show favor to the young. They're equal opportunist killers. Serial killers, man. That's exactly what they are. And they're trying to turn the everyday people out there just like they are, to make it okay for you to advocate for the murder of children. That is where we are, people. That's what the world has come to. This is where the world has come to. And it's further causing division between men and women. You know, all throughout the internet, you know, it's all that back and forth between men and women. It's further causing all these divisions. And it's all done by design. All done by design. This is why you have to constantly be on your P's and Q's in this time, man, because you can easily get sucked in all these psychological operations. Easily. Hence why your eyes has to be single, so your body will be full of light. And with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'chah HaKodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.